Interesting story to take a look at this morning. A CEO forced out of a very high-profile job after only a few months. And now there's a report this morning from the New York Times that some executives in his company are saying that it may have had something to do with his religious beliefs and that they made them uneasy. All right. But according to Time Warner, the chief executive of the magazine division, Jack Griffin, lost his position because his management style did not fit the corporate mold there, is sort of what they're saying about this. His boss explains what happened in an internal memo that was acquired by the New York Times. Here's what they reported. Quote, although Jack is an extremely accomplished executive, I concluded that his leadership style and his approach did not mesh with Time Inc. and Time Warner. We called the company as well. They were not able to give us a comment at this time on this report, so we're going to continue to pursue that. In the meantime, let's bring in some attorneys who have some experience with these kinds of situations. We have Seth Berenzweig. He is an attorney that specializes in labor and employment issues, and Tamara Holder is a defense attorney. Welcome to both of you. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
Thanks, Martha. Morning. You know, I wonder, the New York Times wrote the most sort of fully reported story on all of this. It's also appearing in the Wall Street Journal this morning and some other places as well. But the reason that we mentioned faith in the tease for this story is this, because of this paragraph that comes from the New York Times. It says, Mr. Griffin, a Roman Catholic, made some in the company uneasy by referring to his faith in meetings and interactions with subordinates. Two company executives said that. On at least one occasion, he compared Time Inc. to the Vatican as a way of illustrating its prestige and its might, these people said. Mr. Bukes, who is the head of the Time organization overall, personally intervened and asked Mr. Griffin to tone down his religious references. Seth, what do you make of that?
Well, obviously, if he was terminated for religious animus, then he's going to have a good case. But the reality is this. If you are an executive and you're responsible for making changes while working within the organization, and if you make one reference to the Vatican in a meeting, which is an allegation here, and if that's the extent of your case, then your case is dead. It's just not going to go anywhere. So the issue is, what evidence, if any, does he have that he was fired for religious animus? I think that the evidence in this case allegedly demonstrates that the reason he was removed was because of a culture clash, an abrasive management style, which allegedly caused several high-level executives to leave the company. Making one reference to the Vatican in one meeting is just not going to cut it.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. There's a number of reasons in this, Tamara, that you could point to that could be other reasons for letting him go. One was that he wanted his name on the masthead on every single magazine. The practice in the past, apparently, was that the magazine editor had, you know, they could decide whether or not they wanted that. The cost was $5 million to the company for doing that, according to this report, so that's one reason. But it is interesting that this paragraph is put in this New York Times piece that points to this on a couple of occasions. Tamara, what do you think?
Well, right. And Time Magazine's decision is total crap, because what they're doing is they did not like his leadership skills. Oh, I'm sorry. You bring in a guy from the outside. You had somebody who was internal for 30 years. Everybody's upset about it. They don't like what he's doing. Instead of waiting to see the results of why he's doing what he's doing, they let him go. The Vatican, I mean, why does everybody have to be afraid of, you know, what somebody says in a meeting? Their job is on the line. It makes no sense. And remember, he's apparently being fired for cause here. Making a reference to the Vatican is not a good enough reason to fire someone for cause.
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know, that they say that some in the company were uneasy about him referring to his faith in meetings. And, you know, you substitute other religions into that question, and you wonder if you would have gotten the same story, the same outcome. We're going to keep an eye on this. Thank you so much for weighing in. Seth Berenzweig and Tamara Holder, good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Both of you. Thank you very much.